Hey, what's up, guys? Sean here. To be honest, I was not even gonna make this video. I was not gonna edit this thing because, to be honest with you, the whole day turned into a shit show, and I hate to be vulgar, but the truth is the truth. So, I decided after all that, you know what, I'd just go ahead and edit the video and let you guys see how the day went. And you know, sometimes it doesn't come up tens. Sometimes it's just a hell of a day, to be honest with you. So what I'm gonna do is I will let you watch the video and draw your own conclusions, and then I'll be back here at the end. So enjoy. Hey, good morning, guys. Sean here. So I told you guys we would be going out on a camping trip this weekend, and I tried it, but it just didn't quite work out, and I'll talk to you about that in a few minutes. So what we're going to do today, obviously, is we're going to take the kayak, paddle down the river with a pack on here, and we're going to do a little day camp shakedown of my gear and the kayak, and maybe cook a little something, make some coffee, and just kind of test out what I've got on here and see what changes I need to make. So having said that, let's get it. So now, if you haven't already guessed, I'll give you a little hint of where we're at. This is where we came and hiked to from the road up there. When we were doing our coffee roasting video, and so that was right here in the same stretch, and so now that we've got the kayak, we can kind of come and hang out here on the kayak and see how it goes. I know one thing, I'm gonna have to take this pole down from back here because of all these limbs sticking up. I don't want to lose my pole, so let me get that out of the way. But so that's where we're at, and the river is up a little bit still, so looks like we may have a little more access further inland, because if you remember, this is kind of where the river sort of goes underground up here. So let's paddle around up here and see what we can find, and hop out and set us up a day camp. And then after we get that done, we'll paddle back down the river there and maybe check out that other creek. Who knows, might do a little fishing here. Man, this thing looks kind of crazy here. Let me show you. If you look, you can see the high water mark where the water was way up the hill there. So it's definitely starting to come down now. I don't see a way to get through right here. Too many cypress knees. Paddle around it. Well, that looks like about the best landing site I've seen so far. Alright, so I decided to pull up and check out the other side of the river, since I've already kind of explored that area on that side by walking in. But let's kind of walk up in here. There's a little area up in here that looks like it might be a decent little kind of setup site for a day camp. And let's go up here and check this thing out and see if it's what we're looking for. We're definitely gonna have to keep our eye out for snakes in here, because the water was really high, so it's the possibility of snakes, or even really muddy, possibly quicksandy type areas. So we're gonna have to be real careful up in here. That looks like a cool area over there. Let's go check that out. Oh, cool. Check out this little area. Now I just got to find the way to get either down here or right over here. So maybe we were to get back in the boat and go check that out. I need to go take me some lessons with Pete Beck from the River Kings. Learn how to do all this stuff. If you've never watched Pete's channel, you need to check it out. That guy does some crazy stuff. Now, what are the chances that it's deep enough to get through here, though? I don't know. Kind of got myself hemmed up here. Oh, there we go. It's very, very shallow here, so trying to fight the shallowness and the current, because I don't want to be pushed right back out into the main flow either. But it's kind of looking like this is about. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where it all hit the fan. crazy. Well, that was kind of crazy. I lost you off into the water and I actually had to jump off into the water to get you. So, broke the tripod in the process. Well, that was fun. Now let's see what we can figure out about getting across. Whew. Well, I'm back in the boat. That was exciting. I guess there's only one real way to test out whether or not your dry bags are dry, right? You got to get them wet. That was definitely not planned. I've got to come up with a different option to hold this camera down, because that whole thing wouldn't happen if I'd had this camera strapped down. So, definitely got to invest in that camera gear that actually mounts to my tracks. That was crazy. Alright, well, we're wet now, so nothing to worry about. Might as well just go on down here and see if we can find somewhere to set up. Well, we definitely did an impromptu test of all this gear, and I don't think we actually lost anything but the tripod in that fiasco. Okay, so we are on the phone camera now. The actual DJI Osmo, I guess it got some water in it. It's kind of flipping through its own screen, so I decided I'd take the battery out of it, and I'm not going to take a chance of it frying it. So take the battery out of it. Hopefully when it dries out, it'll kind of come back around and start acting right again. Fingers crossed anyway. But let me show you the kind of the carnage here. So I got the battery out, the camera, the microphone sitting there dry. I actually rinsed all the, or squeezed water out of that thing. And if you look at my tripod has been absolutely destroyed. So luckily I had the phone in a dry bag, and stupid. I knew that I needed to go ahead and get those camera mounts for this thing, and I didn't do it yet because I'm freaking cheap, and fingers crossed being cheap didn't cost me a fortune on that little camera. So anyway, I'm not gonna quit just because we had that little thing. So let's walk up here real quick and take a look at this little creek we seen from the other side. Really cool little area right here. Right now the river is receding and we haven't been getting much rain. We got a little bit of rain the other day, so not too bad. This might not be a bad place to just set up a little day camp. If I was gonna camp overnight, I wouldn't camp in this little area here, because it's just, you know, it's too likely that if for some reason it rained in the middle of the night, or it was raining further north of us, that this could flood back out. Obviously it's been flooded all the way up through these trees. Matter of fact, it's still flooded over in this area right there. So that being the case, I wouldn't camp here if I was going to camp overnight, but just to kind of set up a little day camp, this is a cool little spot. And believe it or not, the mosquitoes aren't bad here yet either. Okay, so I don't know kind of how crooked things are. I've kind of got you just posted up in a tree right now. But I'm going to go ahead and get some gear out and kind of start getting some things set up for our little day camp. I got something else cool I want to show you that I think is going to be cool for the videos, and something you might be interested in. So let's go ahead and get some gear out and get set up, and we're going to still have a good time out here. Now, judging by the look of the discoloration on this versus this up here, I don't hold out a lot of hope for that thing actually being waterproof. I could be completely wrong, but that thing really wasn't submerged. It was just splashed with water. So, well, let's take the stuff out of this thing and see if it actually stayed dry. Well, I don't feel anything on the inside of it. I'm going to move over to this log over here. Okay, so as you can tell, this has really kind of thrown me off. Just kind of sucks. I hope that camera is not destroyed. But it looks so far like everything in here has stayed dry. So I'm happy about that. You can actually get quite a bit of stuff in this 35-liter bag here. This is what I'm looking for. I've got my hammock and tarp in here. It doesn't look like it's going to rain today, but it's all packed up in one little bundle here. So we'll just set the whole thing up while we're at it. But it looks like everything stayed dry in that bag, which I'm glad. It barely got splashed, but the outside just didn't look too promising. So so far so good. I'm glad that bag held up. Alright, so you can see I got the hammock and the tarp set up back there, and I'm pretty happy with the way that's set up. I don't know how easy it's going to be to find any dry firewood in here, so may not do the whole fire and cooking thing today. I wanted to, but honestly I'm not into it now. But I got something that I want to show you that's really cool. So I picked this up from Amazon, of course. This is a tenkara rod. Now, I've seen a bunch of videos on tenkara, and I really like the idea. Now, tenkara is basically, in my opinion, it's a mix between fly fishing and cane pole fishing. This is a 12-foot, just cheap tenkara rod from Amazon. I think it was like 24, 25 bucks or something like that. But it's got a real fine line that comes, or that you actually have to buy it separate. And it comes on this little spool. So when you're done with it, you just wrap it back up on this spool, and it uses little flies or little popping bugs and stuff like that. And I want to take this thing in this little creek and right along the edge of the river and see if we can't catch some fish. I think that'd be really cool if we could catch some fish with this thing. Like I said, I think this thing's a 12 foot length. And like tenkara rods really get expensive. It's a Japanese style of fishing, but if you look, I'll get it close to you. If you can see that, it's got just a little line on the end of it, and that line is what you actually hook your string to, and the end is very thin and flexible here. So if you caught something very big on it, it would probably break it. But for some little panfish, brim, stuff like that, it'll be really fun. So I think we should take this thing out now, since we got the little camp set up, and see if we can catch something on this little tenkara rod. This looks like as good a place as any to try it out, I think. The only problem I really see here is the limbs overhead are going to be kind of difficult to deal with. But if we're careful, we can make it work, I think. And I think I'm tying this thing in a knot here. Well, that was far more difficult than it should have been, I feel like. I think I'm going to see if I can't shorten this thing down a little bit. You ever had one of those days when it's like no matter what you do, everything's just going to go wrong? That's today for me. I just spent like 10 minutes trying to get this freaking thing unstuck out of these trees and all this stuff. I don't know. It's like one thing's packing up after another, and sometimes you just got to figure out when enough's enough, but I'm not ready to give up just yet. I really want to try to catch something on this, but everything's so closed in here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it work. I think I'm going to go down this way and see if I can figure something out. Like, I'm totally being serious, guys. This is ridiculous. Alright guys, I hate to be a defeatist, but this thing is just not the right, it's not the right fishing rod for this area right here. It's just too tight and packed in. I just spent another like 15 minutes trying to get this stupid thing undone without breaking my line. So instead of destroying this pole for no reason, I'm gonna go ahead and pack it up. And I've got my other fishing pole. I can kind of walk the bank. I wanted to do some paddling and fishing, but I'm not gonna be able to get you any video of that. So what's the point, right? So I'm gonna put this thing away, and then I may break the other fishing pole out and see how it does. I don't know. But like I was saying, this thing is really simple to get undone. You just pull on the end of this one. You pull on the end of the white one, and it actually loosens it up. Just like that. And then that other string comes right out of it. It's really a neat little rod. It's just this is not the right area for it. And just trying to make something cool happen. I just spent the last literally 30 minutes aggravated trying to make something happen that wasn't going to happen. So I guess I'll go ahead and get my other pole out and see if we can get something to happen on that. So this was supposed to be a just a really fun weekend trip, and just didn't work out that way. I went down yesterday and picked up my new knife from my buddy Ian at Pine Ridge Forge, and the thing is awesome. It's got like really nice burl scales on it and glow-in-the-dark liners. The thing is beautiful, and the idea was that I'd go yesterday evening to the Ocala National Forest and camp for the night and use the knife and all that stuff. No way, couldn't happen. I've never seen that many people in the National Forest. There wasn't a single road, a single spot that didn't have somebody on it. And all these little dinks and their little super loud four-wheelers and side-by-sides, which I don't have a problem with four-wheelers and side-by-sides, but I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. There was just nowhere to go, and it wasn't going to be any fun, so I decided to just scrap that and come do this morning. And I thought, well, you know, this will still be a fun little trip. And it just seems like everything is kind of conspiring against me, and this trip's just not working out as good as I wanted it to either, and I probably should have just scrapped it and stayed home. Well, I know there's no way you're going to believe this, but the memory is running out on my phone. I just had to spend a while deleting a bunch of stuff so I could actually record a little more footage for today's video. Looks like I've got a huge bird nest in my line here, so that's good. Why wouldn't there be? You know? Why wouldn't there be? Okay, so you see how it went. It was a pretty rough day. I tried my best to make the best out of it, and it just wasn't going to work. It just was one thing after another after another. And I should have called it earlier, but I didn't. I kept pushing, and that's just, you know, what happens sometimes. I would love to be able to tell you that I was able to bring the camera back out of it. Unfortunately, that's not the case. The camera was a total loss. So, fingers crossed, I'll be able to get one. Actually, I should have one coming in the next couple of days. Not a problem with the camera. It was a problem with Sean. And sometimes being cheap gets real expensive. And that's the truth, you know. I didn't have the right camera mounts on there to keep the camera secure. And, you know, there's other extenuating circumstances, but that's just how it is. So, appreciate you guys watching this video. I know it's short. I know it kind of sucks. But I do appreciate you watching the video, and there you have it. You know, a lot of people say, man, it looks like you're living the life, and you're all, you know, that's true. To be honest with you, that is true. I enjoy it, and I do feel like I'm living the life a lot of times. However, some days it just doesn't go right, and this is proof. So, you know, don't feel like you're alone if you get out there and things just don't go right. Sometimes that's just how it is. I'm right there with you. So, if you did enjoy this video, if you enjoy my videos, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and let me know. Leave me a comment below if you've had days like this. And, you know, just tell me what you think. I appreciate you watching this video, guys. I'll see you next time.